No,
Oh,
100% clean.
and that's coming, people.
House party's coming, y'all. It's coming. Thank you, sir.
Of course. Alright, so this is like my next stop on the tour. This is our brew house downstairs. I like to take people in this one because right now our brewers are working upstairs. They get a little weird sometimes. But this one's just as good.
Gotcha.
So this is our fermentation chamber for small batch beers. These are mostly ales right now, I believe. If you see one that's condensating, it's cooled down a little bit. These are for lagers. Lagers ferment better in colder temperatures. That's why this is kind of sweating right now. These ones that are like a little bit warmer to touch than that one is, those are going to be for ales, IPAs, the Rocky Mountain Oyster Stout, stuff like that. They are fermenting on the bottom when they are lagers. The yeast just works better that way. That's the way I describe it. I am not super scientific with yeast, so
Got you.
I will be
I do got a couple of questions for you for this room. So,
all right, this is where I like them.
Yeah, so this room, so you said in here that these are all small batch ones.
Yes.
Are you saying small batches only, it's like a limited release kind of thing, or how does a small
Not
batch
really.
compare from what like you normally would drink?
Not really. I wouldn't say a small batch in that aspect. It's just for beers that aren't as popular as some of ours, like the Rail Yard upstairs, which is our amber ale. I actually brought it down for you to try next.
Awesome.
This beer was actually brewed 30 years ago by our original head brewer, and we still keep brewing it today. It's just that good of an ale, and who doesn't love an amber? It's easy drinking. It's one you can tailgate with. So that's the way I like to describe it.
Right.
Especially with craft beer, they can get a little heavy sometimes. You know, so what else you got?
So that was the first question. Second question. So you said that this one right here is sweating because there's something like the one I just drank in here, right? So
no. So this would have like a lager, a pilsner.
Oh, okay, a lager or a
something
pilsner in here.
lighter.
Got you, a lighter, but the hotter ones would be over here.
Yes.
Got it.
So this would be more for what you were like drinking in the three. I have these two.
Got you. So you said there's one that's like one of this upstairs but bigger. What is this set up like in a certain order, or is it just
yes.
like whatever's in here?
Our head brewers, they have a whole like setup inside their brewing office. They
Gotcha.
have like little circles.
They have like a map, and it's like,
That's like a
this
map.
one's here, this one's here, this one's here.
And that's what all these numbers are for too, to kind of help them.
Gotcha.
So fermenter, V10.
Yeah.
Keep it that way.
Gotcha. And then the other question I had, so of course there are pipes and everything in here. So this room goes out. So when this is done, because you're dropping the hops out of here, which is going to come down in here, right?
Correct.
So once you drop the hops out of here in the bottom, then it's going to go from a tube to a different room. Yes.
Actually, when we're dropping the hops out, there's a small hose down here that you hook up with this clamp, and we're actually just going to pump them into this drain to get rid of a lot of our spent hops, and then they go outside, actually.
Oh, okay.
There's another system, so they'll just keep washing this down with water, but the hops will go into there and kind of drain out, and then we'll water them down, and they go actually out back to the back alley where we have the storage for them. Same with our grains when we're using them upstairs. There's another way.
Makes sense. Makes good sense. That was all the questions I had on this one, man.
Cool.
I like it.
So, actually, since there is something going on, it's kind of cool to talk about.
Yeah.
So this is fermentation in activity. That's what the bubbling is going on. So the bubbling is caused by the yeast eating the sugar that you create when you extract the sugar from the malts. So that's what really beer starts off as, sugar water.
Okay.
Is a way to describe it. So then you're adding hops in the boil, you're adding any flavoring to the beer in the boil, then you're coming down here into fermentation, and this is where you're going to be adding your yeast. So once the yeast reacts with the sugar, it starts eating, pooping out CO2 is the way I describe it.
Yep.
And then you start getting your beer. So once it starts eating all the sugar, it'll start slowing down. Usually our beer is finished in about 3 weeks if it's an ale, 4 weeks sometimes, depending on how we really want to age it. So this one, it looks like it's about a week into it.
Does the aging make the flavoring different?
Not
does
really.
it make it taste oakier or less oakier or earthy or anything like that?
Not really. It really just kind of clears up the beer. So once we go from this room, there's another aging cellar back over here where I kind of end my tour and like talk about our draft systems. That is where we kind of age it, and that's where you'll get clean looking beer like this.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So usually there's still a little bit of hop sediment. It's just not finished dropping all the way. So that's why we'll take it over the aging cellar into our bigger tanks. Just kind of let it sit there for a minute and go from those tanks into kegs.
Makes sense.
Kind of the end of the beer life.
Makes sense. I like it.
Since we were talking about this amber,
Yes.
try this amber.
All right, I'm going to trade you.
I got you.
Take that one for this one. All right, y'all, in the amber life right here. A little bit of lighter color.
A little bit lighter beer. It's the one you want to drink with your friends.
That's right. Yeah, this is real smooth.
Yeah.
This is really smooth, y'all.
Hey, they've been brewing it for 30 years. They're doing
Yeah,
something
they know
right.
they know about it.
They know they're doing something right.
Yeah, that's real smooth. Which one is this one? What's this called?
That's the rail yard. So that
Rail
would be
yard.
one of the ones we brew up in the bigger tanks.
Gotcha.
Because we're just producing so much beer. Of that,
Gotcha.
Like, we have to have it in the bigger tanks. All right. So quick little side story. This is my dude Ned. This is who the street's kind of named after.
What up, Ned?
He was one of the original sheriffs out here in Colorado. He did a lot of work with the Indians to kind of create peace almost. I don't know too much about what he did with them, but I knew it was to create peace, and he's kind of a good guy. The streets, Wazee and Wawita, that you see though,
Yeah.
are named after his mistresses. So my dude liked to party.
That's good though.
Yes. But he was alive when this building was built. This building was built in 1889, so
Wow.
this is a really, really old building.
Wow. 1889.
1889.
So 230.
yeah.
230.
No.
330.
Well,
130 would be 19. Then
Yeah.
230 would be 20.
well,
would be 2009.
1889 to 1989 would be 100 years.
Yeah. And then
So it's like 170.
yeah, 170.
170 years
170.
So he was only alive for 3 years of it. He was also in the military, as you can see by his coat.
Yes.
My favorite thing about this picture is this is post-mortem photography, so my dude's dead.
Really?
Yeah,
This is post-mortem?
this is post-mortem.
Wow.
That was a really big thing back in the Wild West.
Yeah.
It's really sad, but it was mostly done with families with kids. They wanted to remember their kids when they were passing on early, so they would kind of pose the kids so they had a picture of them still. But it also happened with people in the military. But yeah, so my dude's Ned is dead, and this is the stand that's holding him up down here. So it's a little stand that he just like leans up on. But my dude's dead.
Interesting.
Crazy.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting fact.
Yeah.
So, all right, my last beer.
That's definitely the fact of the day. That might be a better fact than the fact we broke out about the light beer and dark beer. That's a good
No,
one.
when I started working here and they told me that story, I'm like, what do you mean this dude's dead? Like,
And they were like, "You see the stand in the background?" And you're
then,
like, "What?"
Instantly, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Because then you start like thinking about things. Like I learned about stuff like that. Like I was kind of a history nerd back in the day.
Yeah.
I like my history.
Back in the day.
All right, so last stop on the tour. Like I was saying, these are the aging cellars. This is kind of where we let the beer clear up. So that's what these big tanks are for right here. So once we feel like the beer is clear and our assistant brewer JD is like, this beer is good to go, he's going to take it and hook it up with these little clamps into a hose and pump it straight into a keg. And then from those kegs, it goes to both draft systems upstairs.
Gotcha.
So the one in the main food hall and the one in the pool area.
All right. So another question:
Okay.
You guys only brew for in here, or
We
could I
only-
buy it from somewhere?
Don't do any distribution. We used to, but it was really hard for our brewers to kind of keep up with the demand. And he was wanting to be able to just kind of brew and have fun with brewing, which is how it should be.
I agree.
Like, have fun with what you're brewing, brew what you want to brew.
That's right. So you guys gotta come down here to get some of this good beer. So when
do.
you guys come to Denver, this is the spot. The spot to be in.
Well, I hope this was fun for you, man.
It was a lot of
I
fun.
hope you learned something. I hope it was a good tour.
It was. I'm always learning, man.
So-
Always learning.